Hi there. So it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and today is Friday, October 30th. Can you believe it that October is almost over? I can't believe it, but it flew by. October did. The rest of the year hasn't, and hopefully this year will end pretty soon. But anyway, I guess it will end. We don't have any choice. Sorry, babbling on. So I have a card for you today. So I went to our downline meeting, right? And we did mystery card stamping. Now, if you've never done mystery card making, stamping, whatever, you should give it a try because it's pretty fun. And Janet led us, and this is the card that I made at our mystery stamping. Now, what happens is Janet gave us all the measurements, and we picked a stamp set and designer series paper that all coordinated, but we didn't know what the card was going to look like. All we had was the dimensions. And so I picked the Tasteful Touches with the designer series paper, and this is what I came up with. And then I had so much fun with making these cards, and then with the designer series paper being on sale, I kind of went hog wild. So I'll show you some samples after I make my card today. But this is a card that I made, another one, right? And I was really bummed because I cut my designer series paper so that the pretty side is on the outside, or on the, well, you don't see it except this one little strip. So I'm going to make this card, only I'm going to turn it and score it the right way, and then we'll decide which one we like better. Because when it was all said and done, I think this is a beautiful card, even when you only see this little bit of the pretty designer series paper. But let's go ahead, I'll quit rambling on, let's go ahead and get started. So I have a ton of pieces of paper cut for us in the video, and I don't remember the measurements already, so you'll have to go to my blog here, becreativewithkathy.com, as soon as the video's done to see all the measurements of the cardstock that we're going to use. Okay, so let's start with our designer series paper. So this is 11 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I didn't score it. I thought I scored it, but I didn't, so let's score it together here. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer here with my scoring blade, get that one out of the way. Let me make sure that I have already cut this down to 11 3/4 instead of, and I have not. So let me put it to 11 3/4 real quick and cut that little strip. This little strip here we don't need. And then I'm going to get rid of my cutting blade. And I'm going to score it at, and of course, where did my cheat sheet go? Here it is. Make sure I score it right. At 1 3/4. So I'm gonna, and since it's designer series paper, I'm gonna have a light touch on my scoring blade. I don't want to cut through my paper, so I'm gonna be gentle. And then at 4 3/4, and these score measurements are on will be on my blog as well. So 4 3/4, and then 7 3/4. There we go. So, yep, it's all scored. Okay, then we're going to fold it. So I'm going to just zigzag fold it this way. And now I scored it so that the pretty side, when you open the card, is going to be what you see. That's what I had in mind. So I've cut 2 bases. Now this is just a 1/4 piece of cardstock, and now you notice on this card, because it was dark here, I used the very vanilla, but I think on this card I want to use the mossy metal. And let me get my bone folder because this is bugging me. Let's fold this nice and tight here with the, One more, and then I'll be happy. Okay. But I think we're going to set it here, yes we are, on the mossy meadow card base. Take a little bit of adhesive here, just stamp and seal. And I'm going to be very generous because, well, first of all, this stuff is sticky, but it's got a hold on there while we pull and tug on this piece of paper, so I want it to stick on there pretty good. I'm going to stick it right there, center it on that piece of mossy metal, so it looks like that. So far, so good, right? Let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to use the Christmas Gleaming Bundle. It's in the mini catalog. It's on page 19, I believe. Let's see if I remembered that correct. It's a bundle that Stampin' Up! Brought back from last year. And then we're going to also use this copper trim right here that's on page 45 that just matches this copper paper really pretty. Okay, but let's stamp. I've mounted all my stamps already. We're going to stamp some in Mossy Meadow and some in Night of Navy. Now, I picked those colors just because that's the colors in the Designer Series paper. I also could have put some Pretty Peacock because that's another color in there, but I didn't. I don't know why. So we're going to start with this one, and this is the front. And I'm going to just stamp my little image right here. Hold it down, let the ink sink in. There we go. And then I want this one and Night of Navy 2. And we'll just let that sink in. Yep. And then we want this little ornament in the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp him right there. And then while we're stamping and have our ink out, I'm going to take this sentiment. We're done with the green. This sentiment here, Merry Christmas. And I'm going to make sure he's inked up really good because he's a solid image. And then I'm going to stamp him down here at the corner and hold that down, let that ink really sink in on that solid image. Nice. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to take, oh, and this isn't last. I've already cut a stitch-shaped oval from, what color is that? Very Vanilla. And I'm going to try, normally I would stamp and then cut, but I kind of wanted to do a quick video today, so I've done all the die cutting for us. And I'm going to just stamp down that Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, hopefully in the center of that oval. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's a little bit off center, but I'll take that one. And then while we have our stamps out again, for the inside of the card, let's see, I have the larger piece of vanilla here. It's going to be the inside of the card, and I'm going to stamp and be jolly this season. So let's stamp that toward the top. So the other thing that I think is great about this card is you can use all the images in your stamp set. You look how many places you have a chance to put your images in your card. This one has a place for everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer stuff up. So I have a piece of Night of Navy here. It's just a 1/4 inch bigger than my, holy smoke, than my Very Vanilla. And I'm going to just attach, maybe I am, oh, here we go, the Very Vanilla to the blue here for the inside. And then take that oval, which I'm sure it's dried, because sometimes the Night of Navy takes a little bit longer to dry. Maybe it's just because my ink pad is really happy. I don't know. But oh, I thought I smeared it, but I didn't. I'm going to just place him right here on that scalloped oval. Now this oval, the scalloped oval, is from the Layering Dies bundle, which I think just because it has the scallop there, you got to have those too. I think the layering dies in the squares, the circles, and the ovals are all just essential. You need to have all of them. Lay that there, and then I have a piece of Very Vanilla here. And like I said, the measurements for all of these are on my blog because, well, I can't remember what they are. But I'm going to lay that one right there on top of this one. So now I have all the pieces, I believe. Let's do some punching. We're going to take the little coordinating punch for that little ornament. Get that nice border right around. And then go ahead and punch him out. And then the larger ornament punch, we'll punch those other two out. Get that nice white border again. Punch that one. Same thing to this one. And then, I think we're all done punching. With this little piece here, I'm gonna just take some paper snips and just fussy cut him out. Now, it's not hard unless, of course, you have the shakes like I do right now. And I'll have to recut that because I don't want any very vanilla cardstock to show. I want it to just be the blue with no border. Hang on, my scissor charm is in the way. Boy, it's a lot easier to cut this off camera than it is on camera because I did practice a couple times. And I might have to nah, he'll be fine. Let me get rid of that white border right there. And there's a little bit of white border right there. Okay, I'd say that's good enough. Then I have a scrap here of the copper foil paper, and I'm gonna just take that little Merry Christmas that we just fussy cut out, and I'm gonna put a couple glue dots on the back of that, and then lay this just down here in the corner of my little scrap of foil paper, and then I'm gonna just fussy cut it again and just try to get about the same size border. Sorry, I can't talk there. I think that looks good just like that. So there's my little Merry Christmas. So now we have all of our pieces. Let's go ahead and assemble our card. So this is gonna be the front, and we're gonna layer the ornament and the sentiment, maybe right here. But I wanna attach this to my card first, and I only want to attach it to this piece right here. So I'm going to take my card and I'm gonna put an adhesive right along this line here, right on the edge of this. And then I'm going to put adhesive right on the edge of this piece. And I'm going to be generous with my adhesive, making sure it's just right here. But this way then you'll have tape here and here. When you center this piece here, get it in there nice and centered. Now I have adhesive here and adhesive here, but no adhesive here where I don't want it to stick. So that's just a good tip if you're trying to put a piece of paper like this onto a narrow sheet. Put a little bit at the edge here and a little bit on the edge here on the different pieces, and then it works out just right like that. Okay, now we need some dimensionals. So on the back of my ornament, I'm going to just put a dimensional here and a dimensional here, and lay this down toward the top, and then bring in some itty bitty, or they're not itty bitty, they're mini dimensionals, and one right here on our sentiment. Well, he's not cooperating. There we go. And then I'm going to lay this right down there. Now with that ribbon, I'm going to just tie a little tiny bow. This ribbon is pretty stiff, so it's a nice ribbon. It's not too hard to tie. Let's see if I can get a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to cut that with some scissors that I use for ribbon. About like, there you go. Look how cute that little bow is. And then with just a mini glue dot, which side? I like this one better. So we're going to just take, and I like to kind of scoot my glue dot this way so that there's no glue dot showing from behind the bow. And then put this right here at the top of our ornament. And look how cute the front of the card is. Okay, let's keep decorating. So now I want to put this piece in here. It's the same size as this one, but I really don't want it to show. So I'm going to open my card like this, put adhesive on the back. There we go. Boy, my adhesive works fine off camera. You get on camera and then you get on your desk. Whoops. Anyway, so I open my card here, right? I'm going to lay this upside down exactly where I want it, like this. And then I'm going to fold this, holding this close, holding these two together, and then I'm going to fold this over this way, and now that piece is perfectly behind this piece here, so you can't see it until you open the card. Just another little trick there. So then on this is another scalloped stitched. It's part of the stitched shape dies, and I'm going to just take and put a little bit of adhesive on there and set him up in this corner. And then with one dimensional, maybe two, I'm going to take my little ornament. Now normally I don't put dimensionals on the inside of my cards, but in this case I think it needed it, and it still seems to lay pretty flat. But I'm going to pop him up right there, and really I should have put my oval down because it's easier before I put my ornaments on there, because it's easier to glue when it's flat. But I'm going to take this and just lay this in between these two score lines here, so it closes like that. And then this one, a little bit more adhesive, and then lay this one right there. So now let's look at both of them. Let me clean up just a little bit here, and let's look at both of my cards, and you let me know which one you like better. There we go. They don't look much different, although at the same time they do. And it opens this way, or do you like the one that opens this way? And now, to be honest with you, I think I like my Boo Boo card better than this. This one seems a little busy for me, although look how pretty it is with all that gold or copper emboss or foil, copper foil on the paper. So there you go. So as promised, I have some more to show you, some more samples, and I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. Now you already saw this one. This is the one that I did with the mystery stamping. And then there's this one. This one, I can't remember this Christmas stamp set, but the name of it, but it's in the big catalog. And I love the Celebration Tiding dies. I think those are really pretty, but this is for some reason not my favorite card. And I think maybe because the white on the designer series paper doesn't pop like I'd like it to. I mean, the snowman's cute enough, and look how I took those little adhesive back snowflake sequins and covered up all the little black stamping. So it's a cute card, and you can't see the Wink of Stella that I did on the snowman, but it's not my favorite. Although this designer series paper is one of the designer series papers that's on the sale until the end of October, which is, yikes, tomorrow, okay? So then I made this one. I love this one. I think the wood grain. And so for this one, I use the, now I'm not going to remember the name of this stamp set either. I used two stamp sets. One of them is the plank. It has the plank in it, that the Hello Handsome. It's a good day, it's your day. I really do like this one, like the wood grain on this design. And this designer series paper is on the sale too. This one I didn't think I was going to like at all. And then lo and behold, I just think it's beautiful. So this one opens up this way. Love the designer series paper, and how I think this stamp set goes really good with this designer series paper. And then this one, I can't decide between the next two which is my favorite. This one, which is very simple stamping. Look, it's all designer series paper. And I even left this blank because I want a place to write, so I'm just going to write from the houses. And this is the Paper Pumpkin stamp set this month, and I think it says it all, wishing you a very Merry Christmas filled with fun and laughter. So you really don't need to say anything on the inside. The other thing that's different about this one is the designer series paper is red on the other side, and I didn't like it on the front of my card, so I just took a piece of cardstock and covered that piece of designer series paper so it looks like that on the inside. There you go. And then this one with the Gnome Stamp Set. Love this stamp set. Look how cute this is. And it just opens up and you can put all those little gnomes in there. Is that not a cute, bright, festive card? And then I don't know if you can see or not, but I took all those red rhinestones that I am totally obsessed with, and covered her little lights on her Christmas tree. And then the little star is from the medley, the Christmas medley that's in the mini catalog right now. So there you go. There are all of my, I'll call them mystery cards, although really I've been calling them the designer Z. Let me try that again. The designer series paper Z-fold card. There you go. And there they all are. So I hope you'll give this a try. Remember, the designer series paper, whoop, let me get those all in the, there you go, is on sale, like I said, through the end of October. You can go to my online store to find all the designer series papers. I believe there are, lost my cheat sheet again. Oh, well, it's gone. Oh, here it is. 9 of them, 15 of them. Look at all the designer series papers that are on sale. Okay, thanks for watching. Once again, if you need to find the measurements, because I just rambled on and didn't say any measurements, they're all will be on my blog in about 15 minutes. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday about 1:30. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.